Marvel has made a lot of video games throughout the years, but not all of them hit the same. So I'm breaking down my top 20 Marvel games of all time. I ain't gonna lie, this is probably gonna be an 80s babies list though, so I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of y'all that don't agree, except 80s and 90s babies. This ain't no internet list either. These are games that I actually played growing up. So if you know, you know. But right now we about to start from 20. Hey, so welcome to Urbanime, and this is my 80s baby top 20 Marvel games list. Check it out. At number 20, I got the Uncanny X-Men game on Sega. This was actually my first X-Men game I ever played. I remember going over to my cousin's house and we used to play this game like religiously. This is like one of the hardest games I ever played. Like we ain't never beat this game. I used to run with Wolverine and Gambit the most, but this game would really test you, like really test you. Around that time that game came out, the graphics was like ahead of its time, so, and I was a Super Nintendo fan, but Sega for some reason was dropping some gems, some games out that it just graphically just looked better. So if you want to go back to an old X-Men game and play something that's entertaining, that's the one you should go back to. I highly recommend this game. At number 19, we got X-Men Clone Wars. Now this was a step up from the prior X-Men game, and it was a phenomenal step up to us. Now the graphics were more colorful, they felt smoother, and the moves were better. Like one thing I remember is like you couldn't even pick your character at the start. Like it's like they kind of randomly gave you a character. At least that's what I remember. So like you'd be hoping that you get Wolverine or you get somebody that you actually wanted, But either way, you had to beat the first level. That kind of always stuck with me. Like that was something weird about that game. At number 18, we got Iron Man. Now, realistically, I wasn't even gonna put this on the list, but it wasn't a bad establishment. It wasn't a bad installment. I think I played this on the Wii and I actually enjoyed it a bit, just flying around, shooting, hearing Iron Man talk, it was a vibe, The story was cool, but it didn't have much replay value, Still, it's definitely worth a try, or at least playing once. So right here, this is my number 17, the Lego Marvel Superheroes. Now, at number 17, this game is at number 17 because I used to play this with my kids, and so it got like a little personal feel. So I played with my nieces and nephews and stuff like that. It's not something I played all the time, but it was just fun. It's not like I know the whole storyline of it. I like how you had to use different characters and powers to interact with the environment and solve stuff. It wasn't just fighting, like you had to really think, Now number 16 is the Marvel Avengers. When this game dropped, I was excited. The graphics, gameplay, the mechanics, all of it was on point. The story felt, started strong, but it kind of fell off like with the DLC, a little bit. It leaned heavy on like online gameplay, and people started kind of dropping off of it. But but overall, it's still one of the better made Marvel games that has ever came out. At number 15, we got the Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. This game right here was pretty cool, man. I had to go back and rebuy the game because I wanted to play it again. I haven't played it in a long time, but I remember how the gameplay was and the graphics at that time. It was just like way ahead of its time. The only issue I had with that game was the roster. It was too many made up characters. They didn't have it wasn't heavy on the Marvel characters that I wanted to see. Plus I wish the story was longer too. But the gameplay and the graphics, it still was solid. Still a pretty good game. Check it out. And number 14, this is one of my favorites. Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage. Now, back in the 90s, we loved beat 'em up games, like Streets of Rage, Double Dragon. We always wanted that Marvel style game you know, that was similar to those type of games. Now this was a close one. This was like a very close, you know, close to like a Streets of Rage and things like that, you know. And so it was something that was really fun for us at that time because, you know, I always wanted like an X-Men game like that, you know. So, but yeah, it was a pretty cool game. The graphics, the vibe, you know, using Spider-Man and Venom, it was fire. Like, you know, never beat it, but I will eventually. Then we got number 13. We got Spider-Man: The Web of Shadows. Now this was one of them games you couldn't put down. Like you be swinging around the city more than often, you know. Instead of doing the mission, you sitting here just swinging around and just, you know, doing just nothing really. Just loving the animation of Spider-Man. The cameos with like Wolverine and Venom and things like that. Like it was just a well put together game, you know, especially when it came to like if you're like a comic book fan and things like that. Like the graphics and stuff kind of complemented that. You know, Spider-Man games always hit differently, and this was just one of them. At number 12, we got X-Men Destiny. Now, you know, this game was great. I just wish that they came out with another one. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you got to create your own mutant, and that was something that we all been wanting to do. We wanted to be able to create our own mutant. So, and the idea was fire, you know. But it's just this, having no sequel just hurt it to me. This could have been something bigger, you know. But, you know, I don't know who dropped the ball on that. But hey, if y'all looking at this, man, please, like, you know, get back to that, you know, make like a Marvel DC Universe type game, you know what I mean? Like, people been waiting for stuff like that. And number 11, now this one right here is classic. We're gonna go with X-Men vs Street Fighter. Now, man, dude, like when this game came out, it shook everything, you know, because, you know, seeing that in the arcade to us at that time was like unreal. You know, just nobody expected this crossover. Like I never even thought about this crossover, you know. You know, we played this one to death. We played it like heavy to death, you know. It was like, what was crazy was I never even imagined like a X-Men character playing with an X-Men character on a Street Fighter game and having to figure out the buttons and see how you do Wolverine. So it was just, this was like a time that I couldn't even believe was happening, you know? All right, now we at the top 10, man. Now this is where it gets heated up, you know? It gets very heated up. At number 10, we got the X-Men Legend series. Now this was a game that everybody was waiting for. You could build your characters, you could level them up, you could unlock moves. It had depth, it had a strong story. This expanded what Marvel games would end up being in the future. Like this was a phenomenal game. On number 9, we had Spider-Man 2, the one on the PlayStation 2, specifically. This felt like a GTA style Spider-Man. You know, it was something new to us. The open world feeling, the swinging, it was next level. You know, and you know, I spent more time swinging than doing missions on this game. You know, just like it probably any other Spider-Man game. Every Spider-Man game that came out, you just ended up doing more swinging for some reason. I don't know what that is or why that is, but it was just a thing. And number 8, we got The Punisher. Now this was a awesome game. The violence, the realism, you know, it all stood out. You know, to me, it had like a Max Payne feel, but a little bit better. And it really captured who the Punisher was, you know. If you haven't played this game, man, hey, you need to check it out. This was an awesome game.
The new proposal you sent over this morning went off with a big bang in the office today. Genius, just genius. So, sum it up, congratulations. Let's make a video game.
See? Once again, our explosive personality wins the day. High five!
And number 7, we got Deadpool. Now, this is a hidden gem. If you haven't played Deadpool, you need to get this game. To be honest, like even if you look it up online right now, man, people are taxing for this game. You know what I mean? This is one of them games that you just have to play in order to believe that it even existed, you know? It was funny, but it also was a solid game. You know, people forget how powerful Deadpool really is. You know, this game basically reminds you, to be honest. But if you haven't checked this out, get that game. At number 6, you got the Hulk Ultimate Destruction. This game like reminds me of like the new Donkey Kong. You know what I mean? Like the one on the Switch too. just go around just jumping and destroying stuff or whatever. And this is actually what a Hulk game should feel like. And it was a phenomenal game, man. I wish that they would have just kind of continued with the series or something. This was a good game, and if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Next, we go into X-Men Wolverine Origins.
How's Victor, sir?
Your brother's fine. Rendezvous with him at a temple north of your position.
Now, man, this one was like a phenomenal game. This game was better than the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it was brutal. It was like a brutal game. It was exciting. It just hit. You know what I'm saying? And the gameplay was wild. And the reason why I say it was better than the movie is because, like, at that time, man, you couldn't really. Most of the Wolverine or X-Men movies wasn't rated R. So Wolverine couldn't really get off like he wanted to, you know? But when you play the games, that's when you can really see Wolverine in action. And then the way that they did it, using Hugh Jackman voice and things like that, it just gave you that real feel, man. So yeah, if you haven't played that, man, please check it out. The next up is, for number 4, is going to be the Spider-Man series, the Insomniac series, specifically on the PlayStation 5. Now, this game, I don't think you get any better than this. I mean, Spider-Man games have literally, progressed over time and things like that. But this it's the nail in the coffin, man. You got, when you think about games like, Miles Morales or Spider-Man 2 or, other games that came after this one, everything about it just works. Like, you can't really, there's really no complaints about the new Spider-Man games. It's like a perfect video game, you know what I mean? So if you haven't played it, please just, they got it for free in the PlayStation Store, I think, right now. So if you haven't played it, check that game out. That is a phenomenal game. Next, we have the Ultimate Alliance series. Now, this right here, man, this is a staple of just co-op, like just fighting together and building together, and this is a great game. You know what I'm saying? The roster is deep. When you play this game, man, like normally with your friends and stuff like that, you all have your own type of team that you run with. Even if you're playing by yourself, you build your own team. You try to make sure that you got your particular characters that you mess with. It's just, this is hard. Like, to be honest, when it comes to like Ultimate Alliance, it's hard to just pick one. It's hard to pick what the best one is for me. Like, I mean, every single one of them is just great to me. Even the last installment, the Ultimate Alliance 3, the DLC was phenomenal. Like, especially when it came to them adding the X-Men to the story with Thanos and all that stuff. Like, it was the Ultimate Alliance 3 actually. What I liked about it was, when you see the Avengers movie, a lot of people was wondering why the X-Men wasn't there and this and this and that. I mean, we know the reason why legally and stuff like that. But when you play the game, and they bring them to the situation, you get to see how it pans out, man. So if you haven't played that, man, please check that out. A great game. All right, man, we on number 2 now. Number 2 Marvel game on my list. Top Marvel game on my list. It's going to be Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The Marvel vs. Capcom series, period. But specifically, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This game right here, man, has a crazy roster, man. It mixed Marvel and Capcom, like, just a legendary a legendary roster. I mean, it's, coming from X-Men vs. Street Fighter and then Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that, it's like they kind of combine both games, like, completely, and it just made a beautiful video game. I mean, it's like, this is one of them games, man, that you'll be up all night with your friends, and it's very competitive. The graphics at the time were just all over the place. It just looked beautiful. It still looks nice to this day. I even own it, now. But it's a great game, man. And to me, this game like set the tone for the next. For a lot of games that come out nowadays, even when you think about Dragon Ball Fighters or games like that. I mean, there's other games too, but Dragon Ball Fighters was the first one to stick to my head. But yeah, man, that's my number 2, and now we about to get down to number 1. Okay, like I said, you guys. Now, before I say this, remember this. This is my list. These are the reasons why I chose these particular games. Now, if you have a different opinion. That's what I want to find. But I'm gonna get to it. Number one for me, Marvel game of all time is going to be the X-Men arcade game. This game right here, like nothing beats this experience at all to me. You know, being young, man, going to the arcade, playing with random people, having to talk to a random person you never met before, and and try to become and try to do some teamwork with them, and it was just it brought a different energy, man. Like it was a very interesting experience, man, playing this game. You know, this game right here to me set the tone for like Marvel games, and you know, like if you play in the arcade, man, the sound was explosive. I mean, everything about that game was just amazing. You know, at the time, I mean, you could play with like, I think up to like 6 people or something. It was just crazy. And, you know, and it was one of the first arcade games that I kind of fell in love with outside of the Ninja Turtles arcade game. Yeah, man, if I missed one of your favorite games, leave it in the comments, man. Let me know what games y'all mess with. And, you know, let me know, you know, what I missed. You know, because at the end of the day, everybody has their own like list of games or list of games that they like. But you know, I don't really like putting stuff in order because it's kind of hard to put stuff in order. But I will agree to say that my number one will be X-Men arcade game. That's just factual. That's just where I'm standing with. I'm standing on that. If y'all want more videos like this, let me know, man. We can do anime video games, we can do fighting games, we can do sports games, we can do whatever. And whenever I do these games, I'm coming from like the 80s till now, you know, 90s till now. You feel me? Like, so, you know, my list is always going to be all over the place because I kind of grew up with this. And yeah, man, these are videos I like to do. So, hey, if you like this, man, please like and subscribe. Keep checking me out. Got y'all.